I thought Mob Psycho was just a simple, run-of-the-mill anime. It's funny, has cool animation, and doesn't overstay its welcome. But this show is deep. In particular, episode 1 of season 2 has a transcendent storyline. Side note, I watched the first season of Mob Psycho in spring of this year, and then I started watching the third season that is premiering this fall, but I never ended up watching the second season. So I was confused, but I finally started watching season 2 and it's great. Anyways, remember to like and subscribe if you like this video, and let me know what you think in the comments. So the beginning of this episode isn't anything spectacular. Mob does figure out that he can override psychic control of essentially any object, and that makes him grow as a character. However, I want to talk about the second half of the season 2 premiere. The student council president resigns, and the student council holds a re-election. Mob is convinced by his good friend Ichi Misato to run for president. Mob decides to run solely because he thinks it will improve his standing with Tsubome, his crush. This is an interesting thought, as the advice you usually hear is that a girl will, quote, like you for who you are. And while there is some truth to that, I think Misato is describing a different approach, becoming a man of status who can attract women. I think it is important to improve yourself, and yes, the hard work and passion it takes to become student council president would definitely be attractive to a girl. However, Misato forces this upon Mob, and in all honesty, Mob isn't cut out for the role. Sure, Mob does certain things to impress Tsubome, but he should really be focusing on improving himself for his own sake, not for anyone else's sake. Like I said, it's quite an interesting detail that I think you could have missed because it was so subtle. Even though Mob does work hard to present his speech, he ultimately ends up failing and not even being able to say a single word in his address. Oddly enough, he gets a love letter from a girl who says she thought he was brave for challenging himself to get up in front of everyone. Again, it's a little too good to be true, but bravery is an attractive quality to have for sure. And so they start this quaint little relationship. Mob starts feeling more confident and cheerful. I think this is a common occurrence. Even though people might say that you shouldn't get validation from other people, it's hard not to feel good about yourself when someone who you are fond of begins to show romantic interest in you. But here's where it gets deep. This girl, Emmy, ends up telling Mob that she asked him out just because of a dare. You can tell how it breaks his heart to learn that information. She also offers insight into Mob's personality. She says, quote, "You don't have any feelings. I mean, like your own opinions about stuff." She goes on to say that she is the same way. All of us can relate to being influenced to do something. Whether it's a close friend, family member, or a trusted mentor, we all look for answers according to other people. While that is common, it isn't necessarily the right thing to do. We should truly ask ourselves what we want to do. Getting advice from more experienced people is a good thing, but when you are constantly depending on others to validate you or give you all the answers in life, you end up not having a life you want, or even worse, you can't make decisions for yourself. But this episode isn't over yet. Emmy is walking home from school one day and she runs into her friends. They start to mock her because she likes to write novels, and eventually they tear up her novel that she worked really hard on. Mob steps in to defend her, and he says that he does have real feelings. He shows that he truly does care about her, maybe in a friendly way though. The pieces of the novel begin to fly away in the wind, but Mob stops them, revealing his psychic powers to Emmy for the first time. It's a beautiful story of what it means to truly care and to not be beaten down by what others think of you or what they think you should do. If you aren't doing what you think is right, then you darken your conscience a little bit each time you deny it. Don't give in to pressures of the world. Instead, hold fast to what is true and good. I didn't think that an anime where you have evil spirits shooting spirit beams everywhere would actually have this amount of depth to it. And you see those life lessons, or you see a little bit of them when Reagan speaks to the villains in the series. It's a little bit of wisdom that seeps through the silly surface level stuff. That's why this episode was perfect. It had real life lessons in it, and it truly developed a character in a metaphysical way. So that'll do it for me. This is the Eagle-Eyed Samurai signing off.